Hi, Coach Kyle Harris here with EFX Sports. We're going to talk to you about some abdominal training and the ways I like to attack abdominal training. I like to attack abdominal training from various points. Just like in training, points of flexion. So if you're doing biceps or triceps, training in a stretched phase like overhead or incline dumbbell curls for the bicep, mid-range phase like your regular curls or skull crushers or maybe even a close grip bench press, and then in a peak contraction phase. So dips or dumbbell kickbacks for triceps and maybe front double bicep cable curls or 90-degree preacher curls for your arms. Same basic philosophy with my abs. I like to have my clients start their abdominal training focusing on the lower abs, then we go to the upper abs, and then we'll do something for the side, and then depending on their where they are in their training and how advanced they are, we'll do some kind of stability training. Now if they're in the initial phases of their training, we'll focus more on the stability training and we won't have as much movement concepts within our abdominal training, but we're gonna assume that you have been training abdominals, you have a good basic foundation and stability. So we're gonna show you how we like to attack it. And my client Dan Smith is gonna be my subject to show you various ways to attack the abdominals. So here's Dan, he's gonna show us how to do hanging leg raises. I like to start the abdominal training doing abdominal movements that are gonna focus more on the lower abs. So Dan's gonna hang here. To execute this, he is going to stabilize his scaps. He's going to stabilize his torso and legs by pulling his navel into his spine, and he's going to focus on keeping the obliques and the inner abdominal muscles as tight as possible as he raises his legs straight up. Now, regression of this exercise would be to simply move at the hips and bring the knees up. So he's just going to bend at the knees right there. This is a great exercise for clients to use to teach them how to stabilize their torso and to build the strength that's needed to do straight leg raises. So the second step in our abdominal training after we've targeted the lower abs is to target the upper or mid abs with a typical crunch or sit-up type exercise. One that I really like to do when a client is advanced enough is the incline sit-up. So Dan's going to show you how to perform an incline sit-up here. He's locked in, he's going to fight the negative for 2 to 3 seconds on the way back, and then he's going to come up. Keeping the abdominals contracted throughout, trying to maintain that neutral spine and using his intrinsic core muscles to stay stabilized. One of the ways we can increase the difficulty of this is we can actually hug a weight. So you can use a med ball, a weight plate, a dumbbell to increase the intensity of the exercise. Now, if this is a difficult exercise, one of the regressions we can use is a stability ball. So Dan's going to hop off of that and he's going to move over here to the stability ball and he's going to show us, lay profile there, and he's going to show us how to do a stability ball crunch or sit-up. Same thing, he's going to really contract the abdominals and make sure that he's in a good stabilized position by pulling the navel into the spine, and he's going to focus on that contraction. One of the things I want to mention is that when doing any abdominal work, as you do the concentric action or you're shortening the muscle, you want to make sure that you're exhaling, and then on the way down or as the muscles, you're doing the eccentric contraction and the muscles are going to a relaxed state, you want to inhale. So Dan's exhaling, inhaling. Exhaling here and inhaling. As I'm building an abdominal program for a client, the third thing I usually try to incorporate is something to address the obliques or the sides of the muscles. If it's for a functional athlete, this is going to probably be something that fights, going to be an anti-rotation exercise like a Pallof press or a torso rotation where we're fighting the negative. If it's a physique athlete and they already have a decent amount of core stability and the intrinsic core muscles are fairly strong, we're going to go to a more movement-based thing where we're really targeting those muscles in a contracted state. So Dan's going to do a kneeling oblique crunch using the cable column. As he's doing this, he's really focusing on contracting those muscles hard, and he's going to fight that negative. This is a great exercise because it not only targets the obliques, but it also targets that lat tie-in there by the serratus and the intercostals, and it really brings those out. If we can increase the size of those muscles, it really adds a lot of detail to the body from the front. So when we're doing our front relaxed pose for a bodybuilder or physique athlete, it brings out a lot of detail into the lat tie-in from the front, as well as the intercostals and obliques around the rib cage, and then down into the abs. We've had a lot of success with this exercise with Dan in the past, increasing the detail of the sides and front of his physique in that position during his competition. The last thing I like to do with the clients is to do some kind of stabilization exercise to help with inner abdominal pressure and increase the ability to brace and protect the spine. As we prep, we do lose strength. We tend to lose mental focus as we get leaner, so it's really important to make sure that we're keeping the core stability muscles and the intrinsic muscles of the core strong. That way we're not going to get hurt in prep as we diet. So what Dan's going to do here is he's going to do what I like to call a hollow body plank. It's my favorite kind of plank. It's really good exercise. It focuses on using the scapula as stability. It's just using your whole core, and it really gets the serratus anterior as well as the intrinsic core muscles. So in order to get into a hollow body plank, Dan's going to get into a regular plank. He's going to push his shoulders forward so they're farther over his hands than normal. He's going to round that body, and he's going to push through his scaps. So he rounds the scaps, and he's going to pull those abs in as tight as possible and hold that. Excellent exercise to work the core. It actually helps to stretch out the posterior chain as well. And since a lot of weight trainers and bodybuilders really live on that posterior chain, this is a great exercise to make sure you're engaging the core muscles or the abdominal muscles, the intrinsic muscles that we need to functionally stay healthy and to do the exercises we're going to do. I'll typically have athletes start with 2 sets of holding it for 20 seconds, and then I'll like to work to about a minute per hold if possible. So there you have it. That's how I like to build abdominal training for my clients. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. You can use the information there, building your abdominal program, starting with the lower abs, moving to the upper abs, using something for your obliques or the side of your abs that also get the intercostals and the serratus anterior, and then doing something for core stability. Tons of regressions you can use for these exercises. For the hanging leg raises or knee raises, you can do a upright supported leg raise or knee raise. You can do a lying leg raise or knee raise. For the incline sit-up, you can use the stability ball or a floor crunch, or you can increase difficulty by doing an overhead crunch with cables or a resistance band. For the obliques, you can regress the exercise or progress the exercise by holding the cable down to the side and leaning away from it, increasing weight, decreasing weight, using a band overhead, anchoring a band below, doing similar motions this way. And then for the planks, you can do side planks, you can do regular high planks or low planks. I want you guys to think about this when you're building your abdominal program. Make sure you're hitting every aspect of the core. Make sure you're keeping that core healthy to not only increase the aesthetic presentation of your physique, but as well as to keep your spine and your core healthy. Thanks again for watching these videos. Make sure you follow EFX Sports at EFX Sports on social media. Follow me at HossJob on social media, and follow Dan at SGT_shreds on Instagram.